Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mishra and I make videos about budgeting and personal finance and a little bit of my debt-free journey, the good and the inevitable bad. So if you've been here before, you know this is a little bit of a different setup, but it's nighttime and this is the only place that I could film that had decent light. So the reason why I wanted to film tonight is because I received my first set of money for the month of August. It is August 6th, I think today. So I wanted to use my YNAB app to budget my money. But the thing with YNAB is that you budget money as it comes in. So what I wanted to do is make sure that I budget the money before I just go spending it without kind of knowing what I'm doing with it. So that's what we are going to do today. So let's just make this a little bit of a cozy, I'm in my pajamas, a little bit of a cozy budget with me for my first paycheck of August. So in my last video, you'll see that I did my whole August monthly budget in Google Sheets in a spreadsheet template. I'll link that video up above. So now bringing it to YNAB, the amounts that I budgeted in my spreadsheet are the amounts that I'm using as my targets for YNAB. So you'll see here $17.95 for bank charges, approximately $58 for our security, $9.25 for charity, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what I'm using as my kind of targets, what I need to get to in each of those categories. But today we have $1,866.46 to assign. And so this money, if you know already, I only get paid once a month, and that's closer to the end of the month. So I do get little pockets of money here and there. And so about $1,300 of this is my side money. I do bookkeeping and stuff like that on the side. And then $299 was a reimbursement from work, or like, I guess an allowance from work for my travel for per diem. And then $267 of this is a reimbursement for money that I had spent for an event at my church that I will be getting the money back for. So that money was spent in July, and it was already kind of like assigned to whatever categories because I had to use the money that I actually had at that time. But now I'm getting it back, and then I can assign it to where I think it needs to go. So this should just be a quick one. So first off, I always, actually, you know what? Let's go to the overspent. So in my other video, I did mention that I was going to try and stop spending on my credit card. So, because what I would do is like I would use my credit card for groceries and gas and that type of stuff, and then I would take that money that I budgeted, pay it on my card. But then I did use it for some other things when I was moving and blase and blase. So it has accumulated, but I am not exactly sure what of it is actually debt or what is, you know, what I've used that I will just use my budgeted money to pay off. So going forward, I am going to try to stop using it for those everyday things and just use the cash that I actually have in my bank account for like groceries and gas. So you will see here in the overspent categories, there are these categories that are overspent on my credit card. And so if you look at this, it says you've overspent in this category. Cover this overspending to avoid creating debt. So right now, in this case, I actually am not going to cover these categories, and they will, I guess, be technically added to my debt that I do have to pay off at a later time. But I'm going to deal with my credit card debt separately, just like once I understand what's going on with that. So we do have dining out though. So I am going to cover this with the ready to assign. So I'll do that. And then stuff I forgot to plan for, again, we'll cover this with the ready to assign. And then I am going to leave these here for now because I'm still getting kind of used to YNAB. Me not covering these, I'm not exactly sure what that is going to mean for later, but we'll figure that out as we go along. So now back to here. So the first thing that I always do is my giving. And so out of the money that I got, I'm going to be giving $130 towards charity. And the next thing is my security, and that is $58.76. And then normally, I would budget my food and my groceries with the money that I would receive every other week, but I'm no longer receiving those funds. So I have to use this irregular pay to fund my groceries and my gas. So that's the next thing that we're going to do. So if we go down here to groceries, so I budget normally about $200 a week. So this will be for the next 2 weeks, even though I'm not really doing it bi-weekly, but we'll just say this is for 2 weeks worth of groceries. So that's $400. And then for fuel, I'm actually going to budget my fuel for the rest of the month. So I already put in $20, but I think I'm still going to add 200. So this is a bit over the target that I have because it'll be 220 instead of 200, but that's okay. Okay, so then I do have this category down here of stuff I forgot to plan for. So this is kind of like a category of stuff I don't plan for, but it's also a miscellaneous category that I put specific expenses into, but I at this time don't want to reveal exactly what those expenses are. So I am going to actually assign in this category, even though it says stuff I forgot to plan for. I'm actually going to plan for in this category, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't, but that's okay. 133.02. So now we have left to assign $856.73. So the first thing I'm going to do is, because it's the beginning of the month, back to school is September 2nd, I think. I only have this month to get the rest of my kids' school supplies and anything they need for back to school. And I'd rather have that funded at the beginning of the month instead of me having to wait till I get paid at the end of the month, because then it'll be last minute scrambling for things, and then, you know, some things will be out of stock because literally everyone is going back to school. So that's the next thing that I'm going to do. So it says overspent here, but I think if I click on this, my target for the month is $677. So I'm actually going to assign $677 in this category, and this $51.71 was used to get stuff for back to school, so that's fine. That's fine. So okay, so now I have $179.73 left to budget. So one thing that I keep on saying that I have to do is I do have like a chip in my windshield in my car, and I need to get that fixed before it gets to be anything more, because then that's just going to be a waste of money, because I'm going to have to spend like whatever, $200, $300 to get my whole windshield fixed. So I really do want to deal with that. So we are just going to put $120 here to cover that. And then I have $59.28 left. So I'm just going to put that in the miscellaneous category. Yeah, $59.28, because I've done with all the bills that I need until the next time that I expect to receive money. And then I know there will be all these little things that just come up and about. So $59.28. And now all of my money has been assigned. So hopefully, now that I took the time to do this in the night before the day starts, yeah, hopefully I'll be able to stick to this, because what I did realize in the previous months, I would like budget or assign $300 as a target for like subscriptions, But as the month came to an end, and I guess also as I was using my money for things that I need to be reimbursed for, things like the subscriptions, like I wouldn't have the $300 in that category anymore. So I've been switching around a lot of like switching around how I assign a lot of things, and I prefer to just be able to assign them properly, and then not have to do so much switching around. So again, I am just getting used to using YNAB, but it really is holding me accountable for the actual money that I have in my bank account and the money that I have available to spend. So anyways, that is my YNAB budget, my first YNAB budget for the month of August. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel, share this video with anyone that you think might be interested in using YNAB. And if you have any questions or comments, you can just leave it in the comment section below. Anyways, until my next paycheck, bye.